This is a project that I started a while ago. The project is called Cohesion. That's the name of the album. It was made at the end of 2017, right around the time that I was really focusing on the student organization that I founded, Student Body for Meaningful Education. And I have a video about that I just finished and uploaded. But the point was to, I guess, just explore different media. There's a language that I made as shorthand right before college because I read an article that said that you should have some sort of shorthand when you're going into class. So I just wrote out, I just got to start somewhere. Perfection isn't a good first step, anyways. I don't quite know what I want this to be, but I can't overthink it. There are a few other projects that I included in this, and then I wrote it in my shorthand here. I don't quite know what I want this to be, but I can't overthink it. Perfection is not a first step, a good first step, anyways. So it's a phonetically based shorthand. A lot of the projects that I was working on at the time that says I don't know how else to say this were based on juxtaposition of different ideas in different spaces. This was using post-it notes, exploring the concept of liking this kind of thing and then exploring just different ways that could, you can find cohesion in the different shapes. So yeah, juxtaposition I think is going to become a little bit more relevant now because people are going to wonder what different things mean and how you actually relate to them. In this one, I was exploring how you could represent the structure of Swoop. Swoop is the language that I developed around the same time because of the student organization. So I was looking into how you could look into this picture of a cat. You might say, well, it looks like eyes and a smile, but in this case, the ears, eyes, and nose are represented by these different shapes. And this is the first, this says depiction at the bottom, one of the first representations of the mental model that I had for Swoop. The idea was that you would look into some sort of depiction scheme at a concept and then see how the essence of that concept has its own sub-concepts, trying to find a general flow between those as you're learning. So this was a pretty cool project. I looked into how you could physically represent these as combinations. So this is perspective and dimension, perspective flowing into dimension, and just various different ways that they combined. That's pretty much it. Also, there's this really cool tape project in the apartment that I was in where I looked into using my language, the shorthand. This says identity and this says belief. This overall art was meant to explore the relationship between identity and belief. And I was looking into how you could use your 3D world to express that language. And this is a write-up about a little bit more of the philosophical basis behind Swoop. It says we can only really depict concepts or evaluated essences, but more or less we can perceive concepts in a manner that implies or sustains the existence of a more abstract essence or an integration scheme, which is usually very difficult to interact with ideologically. We can usually communicate well enough by using symbols that represent the identity of a concept, then use the presented context to fill in the blanks. If we evaluate a concept or the integration of a concept within a perspective or concept, the evaluation yields a concept or evaluated essence which we can depict more easily. This is very abstract, and I'm going to go a little bit more into what this means, but I was really exploring, like, what if you had a C-style language that had meaning in every single symbol? So each curly brace meant, like, the opening curly brace meant depicting, and the closing curly brace meant as a depiction. So I expanded on this concept in the basis behind the language, which I explored in a few different ways. So yeah, I feel like in the future, in the near future, as we're getting more into artificial intelligence, we're exploring symbolism. What does this say? Fruition. We're exploring symbolism and the ways that different ideas relate. It's going to be more important for us to come up with our own ideas about how we can actually bring our ideas to fruition. I did this on my phone in 2017. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much. I'm not sure what I don't even know what this was about. This was an overview of the Cohesion album, and that's that.